got special guests tonight.
We're not gonna say just yet.
Not just yet.
Not just yet.
Not just yet.
Nope. Nope.
It's gonna be a little echoey too, also because my man is overseas, and we're gonna. What you can put out there?
No, because see, this is. I don't know if they can see it.
Not
really.
Because
they can't.
They can't.
Oh.
Yeah.
That must look familiar to the person who's going to be on today.
This man is awesome. He's been all around the world doing stuff. He has been doing stuff for years. And you want to say the industry he's in?
Yeah, well, see, so we only have real people on the show.
Real people.
Real people, hence the name Talk Real, Get Real. So we only have real martial artists on here, real people that have been putting their nose to the grindstone and really producing and really pushing for the martial arts to get where it needs to be for today, you know?
Yes, sir.
Trying to stay away from all the fake McDojo, the nonsense, all the hoopla out there that's been actually destroying the martial art community.
What do they call that? Fake news.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring on a very special guest. He's very dear to my heart, very dear to Sifu's heart.
Yes. So we're gonna get the show started. I'm hyped. You hyped?
I'm getting there.
You getting the hype?
I'm getting
right,
there.
we gotta get you
I just finished doing Tai Chi right now.
So you mellow it out.
I'm so mellow right now.
All right, guys, we're gonna get the show started again. Welcome to
Talk Real, Get Real. And we got little Bobby Head. Talk Real, Get Real. So here we are, guys.
So what we got talking tonight, man? What we got tonight?
So tonight we have this very special guest. He's been in the martial arts industry. He's been in loads and loads of movies. He's helped lots of martial artists and lots of people to get through to the industry. And
maybe you can help me.
Hold on. And you know what? You know what really sucks is people don't remember who helped them through.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So this guy has been a doorway for many, many martial artists out there that do not pay homage and give him respect for who he is and for what he is.
Yes.
And for me, that just, it hurts to see that because, again, it's like for me being a martial artist and instructor, and you have students that have left and they've grown and they've taught and they're doing their own things, but they don't pay the respect that they should be. So
you got scars.
I got scars. I got scars all over. So without any further ado,
we ready to get mine?
I'm ready to get this man on.
All right. So I'll let you do the honors.
No, you can. You want to do?
Want me?
Oh, I want you to, you know what? The last one I was a big blabbermouth. So today I'm gonna mellow out a little bit. And I'll let you
goodness! All right. So it is our good friend and humble respects to this man for Mr. Sonny Sisson. Hold on, we get
my brothers.
There he is.
What's going on?
What's
going
dude?
On?
Hey, how does Bruce Lee say hello?
How does he Bruce?
What's up? And what's Bruce Lee's favorite color?
What is it?
Blue.
Oh man, I want to get in on this.
And what does Bruce Lee like to drink?
Water.
Oh no!
Man.
Oh,
so,
this is getting crazy.
So, brother, you are currently in the Philippines right now.
That is correct.
What time is it over there?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 in the morning, which isn't a bad thing.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back on a mission to bring the sexy back, man. So I got to get up and get my workout on and start eating, and So yeah.
You got the morning eyes going on. That's awesome.
Oh goodness! So a couple of topics, man. Because you are not only in the film industry, but you are a martial artist in your own right, and we want a little bit of backstory about your training so that people can see what your journey is and things like that, and how it got you into the industry, and what you find in terms of people in the industry who need training to do what you kind of do what you do and stay safe.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll start with the martial arts background first. So, um, probably like a lot of people, I got into martial arts with a heavy influence of watching Bruce Lee. Um,
Sure.
but interestingly, so I was raised in Hawaii and then moved to San Diego later in my teens. And I did get an opportunity to move back to the Philippines in the mid 70s as my stepfather was in the military and he was stationed at the Subic naval base, which was out here in the Philippines. So um, I didn't initially take up martial arts for self-defense. Uh, when you're a young boy, and as typical young kids would get into rough housing and stuff like that. In Hawaii, I grew up watching a Japanese channel, Japanese television channel, which had a lot of those live action superhero kind of stuff. What they were precursors to Power Rangers.
All right.
So that attracted me to the movement. So the movement to me would be like how people would view ballet, for example. I just love the movement and the expression of martial arts in general. But growing up in Hawaii, there are areas where it can be tough, and a lot of the kids are exposed to martial arts as a practice. So I used to get my butt kicked a lot. And so my older brother was taking Shotokan karate, and I saw him get into a fight with a guy that was considerably bigger than him, and he defended himself, and that opened up my eyes, and I told mom, said, hey man, I gotta take this stuff up too. So I started at 8 years old in karate, and of my family, all my brothers took, but I'm the only one who stuck with it. Now,
Sweet.
As usual, as you're growing up into your preteens and teens, you get interested in other things. So while the martial arts stuff had always been with me, I got into team sports, track and field, surfing, and all these other things that took me off that martial path for a heartbeat. Not the love of it. That's always been with me, but I should say as training was concerned. So my foray back into the martial arts came in my late teens, where now it became something serious for me. And in a roundabout way, it brought me back to my roots in Hawaii, because and it's kind of coincided at the same time as I got into the entertainment industry. So I ended up training in a system called Kajukenbo, a Hawaiian hybrid art that mixed styles, but specifically moving into one of the, I should say, system, Kajukenbo system. And there are 4 official recognized styles within that system. And so my grandmaster is Al DeCoscos, who was the founder of the system One Hop Kundo. For the viewers out there and the listeners out there, it means combined fist art, which is just, in his explanation, is a Chinese expression of what Kajukenbo is, which is combined mixed art. But the emphasis is more on the Chinese and Filipino influence, where we stemmed from the Chunfa, the Kajukenbo Chunfa, which was incorporating southern and northern styles of Gunfu into the One Hop Kundo stuff, which became an unfixed style, meaning use what you can use. But of course, that's not just a mishmash of do whatever you want without having a foundation. There is a curriculum. You know?
Sure.
You have to go through yellow sash all the way up to black sash with the requirements and the testing, which is what we're going to get into soon enough. And I took that foundation and was able to employ in the entertainment world. So essentially, that's where my background lies.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Awesome. So you know what? So in the industry that you're in, I'm sure you see a lot of people that are these big action heroes that really don't have the martial arts skills that they should.
They look good.
They look good because of all the cutting and everything else.
Well, they look good because of you.
Post production and everything else, and yeah, because of you.
Because of you.
Because of all the stunt guys and everything else. But the lack of the martial arts in the industry, you know, is got to be mind blowing. You know, because I watch movies and I watch stuff. Not to say of anything in particular, but watching movies and watching, you know. Watching movies and watching like certain Netflix shows and stuff like that and everything else, and you you
ain't naming no names.
I'm not naming no names, but
I know exactly which one you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it. But in saying that, it's dumbfounding and amazing, you know, that they don't have the right people doing certain things because of the way they look, or if they don't look the part or whatever, and I get that. But the people that they do find should have that martial skill. And unfortunately, because I've been training for so long, and Sifu's been training for so long, you've been training for so long, you watch shows like that, and it just puts such a damper on what the message is trying to be, you know?
I look at it in the sense of... okay, there's the entertainment industry is a business. So oftentimes they will hire somebody on the basis of marketability. It doesn't necessarily have to do with their skill, but popularity. So what it comes down to is a numbers rating, right? Who's going to watch the show because who is it that they hired for this particular role?
Yeah.
In many instances, it is sad that at the very you should have as an actor, right? If you are a serious actor who respects the craft, then give the same due to who your character is and what he is about and what he does on screen.
Amen.
So when you're looking at movies that you can appreciate someone who's put in the time training. Maybe they don't necessarily have a martial arts background of say, years and years of doing it, but at least when it comes to training, they're down with the stunt department and really bust their butt. So you see them on the screen doing it, right? Without the stunt double doing 90% of the work, and then the actor takes credit and says,
I did all of it. Absolutely, yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
I mean, look at The Raid. You know, look at the movie The Raid. That was amazing because that put real martial arts back on the movie screen again. To see somebody fluent, to see somebody moving correctly, you know, and they wanted to give that presence of realistic martial arts, you know, and it was awesome to see.
I agree, but understand first and foremost that Iko, Uais, and all those boys in The Raid are real martial artists,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So they're coming from a different perspective of wanting to be actors, as opposed to actors who wanna be martial artists. At least on screen. Yeah. At least on screen. Because there are legit Hollywood actors who do train consistently, whether it's in boxing or jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or Kung Fu, whatever the discipline that they're doing. That's on the side. You know, that's a part of their private life.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily take up the martial art to get martial art or action roles in the business. That's their thing. They really love to do it. So with the guys from the raid, they were martial artists first, and they had the great opportunity of a foreigner who saw the value of what they were doing and was able to create the raid and then bring it out internationally. Because had it not been for a British director and his love of martial arts, then the raid would have went nowhere. It would have been stuck in Indonesia. Actually, those guys, remember, they did a movie called Merantau. Iko and those guys did Merantau before the raid. But Merantau is only something that's known to people that are into martial arts flicks. Had they not had Garrett, the director for the raid, bring the raid out of the country, they'd be nowhere. But now these boys are flying all over the place. You know?
Yeah.
They were in Star Wars.
Yes, I know. I know.
They're in John Wick 3 now.
Yeah.
John Wick 3 coming in New York. And
Man of Tai Chi. Iko was in Man of Tai Chi. I saw that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So,
big ups to them.
So, talk to me about your passion now, about your love. You went back to your roots, your Filipino roots, and a lot of people hear about the Filipino martial arts, you know, the FMA, but they don't really understand it. And I want you to talk a little bit about it. Let's bring it to light. You know, let's educate the public a little bit. You know.
Okay. Well, with my goal for coming back was actually inspired by a certain way by what Tony Jaa did for Muay Thai, what Iko and his crew had did for Silat. The Philippines was a powerhouse industry for films back in the 70s up to probably early 90s. I mean, so many of those B movies that you've seen on television and were showing in, you know, grindhouse theaters back in the day were filmed here in the Philippines, but people don't know that. And somehow the action genre disappeared in the Philippines for various reasons that I won't go into. But what I wanted to do was reinvigorate that, along with incorporating Filipino martial arts as the source, because the Philippines is a strange place where through, you know, hundreds of years of colonial mentality, first by the Spanish and then Americans, the Filipinos are looking to find their own identity. And in many ways, they view everything that's foreign as better than their own. So I'm like, wait a minute, you got this incredible martial art as a whole in Arnis, Eskrima, Kali, and there are other arts along with it that don't get its due, especially from the Filipinos who live here in the country themselves. They're into Taekwondo, they're into Krav Maga. but you see, there is a false image that they have of Philippines, and maybe it's because of how it was organized and the warring factions of the various systems where they can't get together to agree upon uniting and pushing and propagating the art in a way that's respectful and unified. So the first exposure to the general public here is through physical education. It's either high school and or college course that they take for PE. So they don't see the real self-defense martial art aspect of it. They think it's just movement, click-clacking sticks. You know, the most common thing you'll see is the Heaven Six, right? The double sticks where they're hitting, and so that's what people identify as, oh, that's Arnis, that's Kali, that's Filipino martial arts.
Yeah.
But because that's shown the most, and it's a somewhat incorporated move into many expressions of Filipino dance, which they call sayaw, they think that that's all it is. And even when you watch movies that use Filipino martial arts, but don't say it's Filipino martial arts, that's the most common move. And, you know, Kung Fu systems do it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we have a short stick set.
Yeah.
In our system.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So they do this movement, but Filipino martial arts certainly entails more than that. So I've come back here to reinvigorate the action genre, and I wouldn't say introduce FMA into it, but I should also say reintroduce FMA to it in much more depth and a much more realistic presentation. Unfortunately, so I've been here for the better part of 4 years.
Yeah, been there a long time.
Just occasionally going back to the States for certain things. But I find I'd say the Philippines is not ready yet, particularly where it's being run by the major networks and or production companies here. Mainly the big ones. We're talking the mainstream ones, because they're in a system that they're used to working where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But for me, in order for the system to level up, they also have to raise their standards.
Yeah, they got to raise the bar. Sure.
Right? So, yeah, it fits into what we're discussing in training and the perception of martial arts. It's very much the same principles. So it's not ready yet. And I don't have time for the industry to get ready. I'll still come back and do what I do here, specific to projects and people I want to work with. But, nah, man, I'm going back to Hawaii, brother. I'm moving back to Hawaii. If I gotta wait, why not wait in paradise?
That's right.
There you go. Wait another 5 years in paradise. There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm not giving up on the country. I still have hopes that they'll see the value of what I and a couple other people are trying to do out here. Mm-hmm. And when they do, then I'm ready to take it on again. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. So, in talking real with FMA, putting it out there is the best way to get that people to be educated and understanding that it's not just sticks flying around. It's not just blades. There's empty-handed techniques. There's empty-handed forms. You've taught us a bunch of techniques the last time you were here. It was awesome, bro. But people don't see it. Like, they just see sticks flying around. They don't understand that the open-handed techniques, the things that goes in it, the training, the hardcore training and stuff like that. It's brutal. It's brutal stuff. So how are you gonna best educate the people, if not through film, to understand what the real FMA is all about? Okay.
Well, First and foremost, I believe that the best method of propagating martial art is through entertainment. When you see it in the movie, all of a sudden people are interested. Otherwise, in their own world, they might not have direct exposure to it. Take, for example, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was the movie where Jennifer Lopez took up Krav Maga to defend herself. Yeah. Right? And all of a sudden, it was like, oh, Krav Maga, and everybody was like, wow, I'm going to take Krav Maga. And, certain arts have shown a specific style and said, this is what it is that I'm doing. Whether it was Krav Maga or Taekwondo or Kenpo, right? Lethal Weapon, and then Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Aikido, yeah. Right? You never hear, I am practicing Filipino martial arts. It's like this hidden secret kind of thing. So when I hear, for example, people think that Jason Bourne did Krav Maga, I'm like, what? He's not doing Krav Maga.
Well, it's the ignorance, and unfortunately, it's like it's just people out there really don't know systems. They don't know styles.
They don't know what they're looking at.
They don't know what they're looking at all. I've got mothers constantly saying, "Oh, so little Johnny so and so, he couldn't go to karate," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, kung fu, kung fu."
Right,
it's everybody is so robotic and so in this repetitive gerbil wheel that they really can't get out of. It's what the society shows them. Yep.
I agree. So and mind you, first and foremost, while Filipino martial arts is a passion of mine, my roots are in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
So, uh, I should say a Kung Fu emphasis, but already exposed to different arts because that's our system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, am I? I'm not against any system per se. I do believe that it's up to the individual to find out what suits him best. Not
Yep.
necessarily forcing that person to become that system, but what suits him best. What's his expression?
Yep.
Who is his instructor
Mm-hmm.
that can
Bing.
give the proper information. But you see, here's the thing: we live in a society where people want instant gratification. People want an entitlement to an award or a certification that says I am now so and so and so and so in such a short amount of time.
So, so hold on right there.
We were talking about that earlier.
I was in Port Jefferson. Remember the place I took you in a couple years ago, right? So I was in Port Jeff, and I went into this yogurt shop, and on the community board it said, and I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying
Hey,
it. So
whatever. Put it out there.
it was Tai Chi, right? Learn how to Tai Chi, easy practice leader, certification, Tai Chi Qigong certification, 2 days from 8 in the morning to 5 at night for 2 days, and you get certified by this institution to be able to teach Tai Chi easy practice leader. That's what you would be called. To me, that is a real stretch.
That's a slap.
That's
in
a
the face.
slap in the face. That's a stretch.
That's a definite slap. In
Basically, what it sounds like is like, we're going to teach you yoga, and by the end of the day, you're going to be a yoga teacher.
Yeah, you're a yoga master. Somebody,
Right?
somebody
So,
just touches you on the forehead.
While people may be great at imitating movement, can they really interpret what all of that entails? What's underneath that?
Of course. So
Right.
so now it's different levels. So here's my next question.
Yes.
All these people getting black belts in 2 years. All these kids that are 9 years, 10 years old walking around with black belts.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
uh,
Now just remember, the show says talk real, get real. So you gotta
Yes, okay.
you gotta talk real.
just my take. Anything truly worth having never comes easy. Right?
Agreed.
Kung Fu, in and of itself, means hard work, skill acquired over time.
Yes.
You know what? Get your 2-year black belt, black sash, but you better be practicing 15 hours a day, every day.
Which doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
I know you.
That's going to happen, right? And at the end of the day, a lot of people mistake athleticism for knowledge.
Mm.
So you can have somebody who is athletic and take up any art and make it look good. And there are even some teachers who are guilty of pushing that person instead of the whole class of coming up. My teacher always said, you're only as good as your classmates. So while you may be better expressing things or executing things as an athlete, everybody should have the same foundation and understanding of what it is to their individual person and expressing it. But you better represent the art in a way that's honorable, with integrity. Not everybody's going to be a great martial artist in expressing it, but they may be a good teacher, right? Not every teacher is a fighter.
No, but every teacher should be able to defend themselves and should be able to pass.
That's my point. And here's the thing: I've seen many martial artists, and as martial artists, we are often taught certain things that, like in a self-defense situation, environmental awareness. If we happen to get into a confrontation and we have a few seconds to assess the situation in person, we should be able to figure out, or at least to our best ability, what is this guy capable of doing?
Absolutely.
Right? We're looking at his size. We're looking at his demeanor.
Yep.
We don't know his background, but we should be able to pick up on something about that person.
Yeah,
You can't
body
do that.
posture.
Right.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't get that whole understanding, in my opinion, in a matter of 2 years and
No.
say all of a sudden I'm a master.
Yeah, no way.
That's years and years and years and years of training. You know, if we take it outside of the martial arts world, people who are special forces people, they go through programs that test them in a short amount of time, but they're pushed to the limits, certainly in ways that your average martial artist will not go through.
Without a doubt.
They're training that stuff there. They've just gotten the foundation. Now they're applying it to the real world. And in their missions, when they're going out in the world, that application brings them new experience and new knowledge. And that's years of doing that.
But that's exactly what you're saying. So now it's experience versus certified. Certifications are jack. Certifications mean crap. They're shit. To me, experience. I mean, certified is good because it kind of gives a foundation. But when people are like, "Oh yeah, I got certified over the weekend," or "I got certified from a seminar," two seminars I took and I'm certified, or a week's worth of seminars and I'm certified. And to me, that's just a money-making ploy nonsense thing. But the experience that you gain through years of martial arts experience, from getting in the ring, from fighting, from tournaments, from visiting other schools, from doing all that stuff, you're gaining experience. Now, the military, they're living it every single day. They're training every single day. And they're taking it to the next level where they're actually utilizing everything that they do, and they gain that experience. So that to me is different. Like you said, it's very, very different.
I'm not disposed of having credentials. There's a difference between having credentials and certifications. Like you have credentials. We can look you up and find out what your credentials are and what your career is, because you have that experience and it's laid out. I think that should be also looked upon when you're looking for an instructor, hiring somebody to do what you do in terms of, the film industry and things like that. There has to be something that people can see tangibly. I can't, how many times you go up to somebody and say, "Oh yeah, I got like 10 years." And then they come to our class or you see them and then you're looking like, "You got 10 years."
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm like, really?
Yeah. You can see the smile on his face, like right away when you say it, you know it. I mean, it's just, I've been training I got somebody come in. I've been training for 20 years. Come on in. I want to take an advanced class. Why don't you take a beginner class? See how it goes. Takes the beginner class, and he's like, "This is a beginner class?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is a beginner class." "Oh, I'll stick with the beginner class for a little while." Yeah. You sure will.
Yeah, so I think. Go ahead, Sonny.
Go ahead.
I think credentials should be. Say, if I have 10 years, your first question is, all right, who'd you study with? How long did you study with them? How long did you stay with them? What have you done under that school that qualifies you saying that you have 10 years of training and experience? I think that should be quantified of your credentials, not just saying, "I trained at that school that got 10 years and I got a black belt under them."
Right. So yeah, I do believe at the end of the day, time put in is paying dues. But when you look at, if someone says they wanted to study my style, but they came from a completely different style, I would have to first and foremost research their background, like you said, and see if they're legit in that particular way. But now if he comes over to what I'm doing or what I'm trying to get him to do, and I see that maybe he doesn't necessarily have the coordination, or it's just a foreign movement to him, it's not something that he did in his system, I have to give that some consideration, because I'm gonna relate this story so you guys understand what it is that I'm talking about. So in the mid 90s, I want to say 95 actually, I was on a Power Ranger live show tour, and we're talking, this was when Rangers were still somewhat in their heyday. It was like an hour-and-a-half show, live show that toured the world, and we happened to be in Germany. And in Germany, we had sister schools of my system that we went to visit one of the seafoods out there. So we visited. With me, I have a guy who does ballet. He's on the cast, and another guy who's already, I believe at the time, was either second or third degree Taekwondo black belt under a very well-known instructor. And I know in what he does, he's extremely knowledgeable. So we went to visit the seafood from our system in Hamburg, Germany. And he said, "You guys going to join the class and work out with us?" I said, "Yeah, sure." They're all game. So the first hour of class was running around the room, doing push-ups and holding horse stance.
Okay.
That was the first hour. and you know, Kung Fu horse stance, bow stance is deep.
Yeah.
Right? So Taekwondo horse stance, not so much. So I turned to my boy, looking at my boy, and I see him going up and down, cheating, you know, trying to sway side to side, take a little bit of the weight off one leg. So anyway, by the end of the class, and we did some self-defense stuff and some form stuff, we walked out of there, and he goes, "That's Kung Fu?" I said, "Yeah, bro, that's Kung Fu, man." I had no idea. And I'm like, look, I've seen Taekwondo testing, legit Taekwondo schools, right? We know that they also have a reputation for being a McDojo, but there are legit Taekwondo schools out there. Those guys are kicking machines where I've seen them, their testing, part of their testing was straight 2 hours of nothing but kicks. You know, so I give the credit to where credit's due in that sense. But in terms of taking in somebody who said they have this experience from that and empty your cup, man. That matters not. If you're coming back into something else and you want to really study this, don't say that you're going to want to jump in the advanced class. You're being disrespectful to the teacher. You're being disrespectful to the art.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you put your time in the other art, you better come in here and have the same mentality.
Yep. Wow. I agree.
That's awesome.
So we're at our limit right now.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we got another 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
We got 15 minutes. All right. So I just got to do a really quick shout outs here.
Got shout outs?
Yeah, we got shout outs. We got lots and lots of
Oh,
people
wow.
on here. So Casey Yachty's on here. Sifu Gun is on here. Sifu, how are you?
Sifu.
Thank you guys so much. Yachty's on here.
Maria.
Maria's on there. Hope you feel better, Maria. Alvarez is on here. Richard's on here. Richard, thank you so much. Chris Lawassa.
Lawassa.
Sensei Chris
How are you,
Lawassa,
Sensei?
how are you? Rock. What's going on,
What's
Rock?
up, dude?
Lance. Seth Buckley. Holly, what's going on?
What's up, girl?
Let's see. Who else is on here? I'm looking through my little review. I'm looking through my mirror saying hello to everybody. Let's see. Che, what's going on,
dude?
brother? Trey
Scott.
Jonathan.
Prince?
Yeah.
Ravenna?
Yeah, look, Shane Rowan. Be on, brother. How are you? Hope everything's good in Myrtle Beach.
I like what you guys are doing. Oh, thank you, Jonathan.
That's very nice. Thank you so much,
you.
brother. Batman's on here. Batman, what's going on?
Sisuk Igor?
Sisuk, how are
you
you,
doing,
sir?
brother?
Hope everything is well. Look, we even have Sifu Rick Kellerman. Sifu Rick, how are you, sir? He's been writing. He's been writing loads of stories. Sifu Gun's on here. He's been writing stuff too. Mandia, that's Trevor's mom. Mom's on here. We got moms on here too, man. This is awesome. Yeah, so Gun and Sifu Rick Kellerman are really putting the tooth to nail here and really working hard by putting some really good statements.
Awesome.
So guys, thank you so much for watching and for posting. I really appreciate it. In understanding the FMA, the martial arts in general, and the Kung Fu, and I think that I'm seeing a pattern of traditional styles and martial arts starting to come back into the mainstream again. You know, and I think that's...
And you know what? Part of that is due to the popularity of mixed martial arts.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
As a thing event, there are still some of those people within MMA who are very much traditionalists. And if you break down the combination of what it is that they use, which is what primarily kickboxing, Muay Thai.
They're using Sanda now too.
Right, jiu-jitsu,
yep.
boxing. If you break down any one of those systems, you will find that the teacher or the coach or whoever has that traditional background.
Yep.
Right? But there seems to be the perception of a lack of respect that you don't get in a mixed martial arts training environment where you do get from a traditional school.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My own exposure to certain martial artists totally blow away that image that MMA people are just thugs. There are those that they do have that mentality, but for the people I'm around with in the MMA world, you know, they're champions in their own right, or they're climbing up the ladder in their own right. When you're around them, you find that they're very respectful people.
Yep.
And I think that's what's missing from even traditional schools.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Right? When you're sending kids to a martial arts school, in many instances, I see babysitting. I don't see
Woo! That's so awesome.
Running around the dojo or the kun, and you know there's no discipline.
Nope.
Man, when I was a kid, all right, my brothers were with me. I was 8. My older brother was 11. My younger brother was 4. We held cat stands from opening class, and the head instructor of our school was off. He would sweep us when we're practicing on hardwood floor, not this padded floor. Not we were on hardwood floor, and we would eat it. Now, he did that to my little brother. 4 years old, and I see my little brother's head hit the ground. Bam! And I was like, oh, I wish I'd beat that head instructor's ass. It instilled in me the understanding of what it is that we were doing, and we had to be strong.
Yeah.
And we had to have that discipline. He instilled that in me from that day moving forward. There were certainly times in class, later in class, in my adult years of training, where I felt like I was slacking. And if my teacher yelled at me, I know he sensed that we were slacking. So what am I going to do? Right?
Break
you
your
know
hiney.
as teachers yourselves when someone's slacking out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes you got to, hey, yo, whether it's yelling at them or go to that corner, hold that horse stance, whatever it is.
I can't tell you how many times I've did that to my students. He just gave me the look.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've done it to my students. My teacher, I remember a very clear class that we weren't really working as hard as we could, and my teacher was like, all right, everybody, mabu. And we sat in horse stance position, and he walked out of class. He walked out of class, and he was watching through his little window and watching for people to get up. And he come out with that rattan stick, man, and smack the back of your legs. And you prayed that you just, that he either didn't see you or you made sure that you sat in that horse stance, right? I had somebody call. I was telling Seafood the other day. I had somebody call my school.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, so my wife was all excited. It's a grandfather and a whole bunch of grandkids. They want to come down. They want to sign up. I'm like, all right, let me talk to them. So I'm like, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm good. And, I'm really disappointed in the old school that we were in. I'm like, so what was wrong with the old school? Well, it wasn't the cleanest school in the world. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, what school did you train at? He gave me the name of the school and everything else, and I was like, okay, they're a pretty good school. I mean, what was the biggest problem that you were having with the school? And the guy was like, well, he didn't have any AC, and the fans were blowing, and there was no AC, and it wasn't cold in the school. And I'm like, and I go, yeah, you just called the wrong school. As if I had a school for 27 years, I've never had AC in it. I said, if you're looking for a real hardcore traditional school, the majority of the instructors are not going to put on AC. What do you want them to do? Come out, give you like Perrier water on a little platform, and just instead of water breaks, the teachers are going to go to you and give you some water? Yeah, I mean, it's like the whole concept of working hard went right out the window.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I was like, hey, you know what? I said, this isn't the school for you. Go down the road. Go find a McDojo down the road that'll put on the AC full blast for you and give you water and give you cotton candy and give you Twizzlers in between class, whatever you want to do. But this ain't the school. So, so.
Out here in the Philippines, you'll be hard-pressed to find a school like that. Philippines is still a developing nation. Dare I say third world country. And while it does have all the modern amenities and conveniences, the schools that I've visited, most of the time I see a lot of people training out at the park. But the fact that they're even training at all, at least in a park, they're serious, It's an eye-opener when you come out and you see old-timers, people in their 60s and their 70s, 80s, and they're living in shanties, and they have students all over the world teaching seminars, making money, and here's their grandmaster living in a shanty. I'm like, wow.
Disgrace.
So, kinda,
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like, you should be taking care of your shifu. You should be taking care of your Arnie's master or whoever it is.
Yeah.
So that's a reality that a lot of people in Western civilized nations don't understand the benefit of having a coon such as yours.
Yeah.
Because you don't have AC. You wouldn't survive out here for a second.
Oh yeah, I remember when I visited the Philippines. So I visited the Philippines, and I visited Thailand. I fought both in the Philippines and Thailand and everything else. Long time ago. And when I went there, and I went to the mall, and before you could walk in the mall, there was 3 security guards, and they had shotguns.
Yes.
And I was, for me, I've never seen that before. So here I am walking into the mall, and you got these 3 guys, and they look younger than me, and they have shotguns in their hand, loaded shotguns in their hand, and they're smiling. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is a completely different world,
But you know what? I saw that also in Germany. When I got off the plane, right out the plane, I see high-level security standing there with Uzis. I'm like, oh, you're not going to come into the country and think you causing trouble with that.
But it's a definite eye-opener, like a lot of the roads where I was at, a lot of them were dirt roads, a lot of them were like dirt roads, and a lot of the restaurants are just people's houses that they built outside, little pagodas and little things where people can eat and everything else, and they were doing their own restaurant and stuff, and it was like an eye-opener and amazing to see, and just respect of what I have here in the States, and respect for people out there working very, very hard to keep their lives going, and we don't realize here how good we have it.
Yeah, we definitely don't realize it.
No, you're right. That's not to trivialize anything that we are experiencing in the United States as a obstacle or a problem that stops us from progressing.
Yeah.
Right. It's not to trivialize that. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but when you get to another place like the Philippines or another developing country, then you realize that what you have back in the States, you got to show appreciation.
Without a doubt.
And stop bitching about the AC.
Stop bitching about the AC. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah, so that to me is funny. So I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know it's early in the morning for you.
Give us some insights about you know, different types of mentalities and training. But to me, training is training. If it's Kaju Kempo, if it's this or that, you all have to go through the same training to get the same skill, and that's what people are missing. It doesn't matter what the style. You got to train. The same training, the same hardship, the same hardcore mentality to get the skill. If it sticks, it's the same training. You get smacked up with them sticks. If it's punches, kicks, you get smacked up with the punches and kicks.
It still hurts.
It still hurts. It's the same mentality. And I think this is what people are missing in terms of training real martial arts.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what you said, Sonny. You know what? It doesn't matter what style you're in. It all depends on the student. The student makes the style great, not the style making the student great. It's all up to the individual who actually adheres to the style and the system and grows with the system. So that's.
Well, I would add to what you were just saying about mentality of training. You can train wrong.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
What's the saying? Practice makes perfect.
Correct.
I'm gonna say perfect.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
I agree.
I share brains.
I say that all the time. Perfect practice makes perfect. All the time.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Awesome, brother.
So I want to thank you so much for being on Talk Real, Get Real.
Brother.
You get the utmost respect. Thank you so much. Keep posting your stuff.
Get the bottle opener, y'all.
Oh! I need one of those. I need one of those.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
That is hilarious.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
So thank you so much for everything. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being on. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Again, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to educate the public. The biggest thing is to educate the public into understanding that we have real martial artists out there, real martial arts schools out there, people that are training hard, people that are working hard, and they need the students. You know, you got all these schools that have all the corporations, and they're pushing and they have the ability for advertisements, big advertisements, you know, and they're just pumping out these black belts in 2 years and everything else and whatnot, and you have all these hardworking martial artists that live and love the system and love the students, and these are the guys that we need to really lift up. We need to have that rising tide raise all the boats in the harbor. So this is for all the, you know, all the hardcore training brothers and sisters out there that are running schools, and we want to educate the public for that. And again, the FMA, you know, the Filipino martial arts, it's a great style, it's a great martial art, we want to help. We want to help the public to understand what this is all about as well. So thank you very much for everything that you've done. Thank you for all your hard work and
for your brotherhood,
and your brotherhood and your friendship. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right.
Continue the best of luck and effort and get your stuff out there to everybody.
Thank you, brother. Have a wonderful night.
Okay. Or morning. Have a
One
wonderful morning.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, guys.
Bye, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
That was an awesome thing.
And here we are.
We are.
All right, give us the big bobbleheads. We need the big bobbleheads.
Don't you want to go through our advertisements?
Oh, I guess we can go through our advertisements.
Our advertisements.
So, guys, yeah, so while Sifu's setting up the advertisements and everything else, Sifu Gun, thank you so much for all the comments. Sisuk, Igor, thank you so much for stopping by. Again, Maria, thank you so much. Ron King was on here. Ron King, how are you, sir? Hope everything is well with you. And Sifu Rick Kellerman, thank you so much for everything. Thanks for being on here. I do want to definitely plug Shihan Andrews' Masters Unite, which is going to be...
That is August 4th.
August 4th. So definitely check it out. Masters Unite. If you haven't figured it out, it's on Facebook. Just type it in. I'm sure you can get over to his site. Again, it's Shihan Andrew Stigliano. It's UMAC School down in Port Jeff Station. Definitely check them out. Again, Masters Unite, August 4th. We got a couple of our websites coming up right now.
Sir.
So yes.
Put our website right now.
Awesome.
Oh, here we are.
So www.shaolinlohan.com. I'm really trying to make a big push here for everybody to come on down, take some free classes. Definitely offering a free class. Check out the website. There's lots of information on the website as well. We also have a YouTube channel. We have an Instagram channel. But
we go through our Facebook.
Check out the Facebook, everybody. There's lots of videos that are on there. There's beautiful quotes on there all the time. Information, trying to keep it real. in this world of shabby fakeness, we're keeping it real.
Yes, and this is our YouTube channel. Growing and growing and growing and growing, growing and growing. So all the past live episodes, all the Kung Fu Mythbusters, everything that you want to know about us and about Kung Fu and the style of Kung Fu is on our YouTube channel. We'll also be having different videos that we're going to be putting up soon.
We're almost at 2,000 subscribers.
What?
Which you know, it's not great.
Hey, it's great for us. It is great for us.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So, guys, definitely, if you haven't checked us out on YouTube, it's Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu. Check us out.
Yep. We go to the IG. We got the IG going on.
Instagram.
All right.
We have a signed us seminar as well.
We got a seminar coming up.
Look at that. We have a seminar October 21st. Signed us seminar.
And this kid is going to be teaching it.
Oh no! Little Shane. Little Shane.
Yeah.
He's 8 now. Oh, he's 9 now.
Yeah.
He just got his green sash. He's been working very hard.
Such a good boy.
Yeah. So.
So that's gonna be October 21st.
9 to 1, 4-hour seminar.
We inviting everybody.
Yeah. So.
Martial arts experience, no martial arts experience. Come jam with us. We're gonna have so much fun. This will be like the 3rd year we're doing it now.
This is the 3rd year. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger.
And limited space.
All right. So I think that concludes our advertisements.
Yeah. So big bobblehead time. Big bobblehead time. Let me adjust my hat.
Hold on. I think there we go.
There we go.
Right,
that was a nice smooth transition. So just so everybody knows, right? We only have real people on this show. Real martial artists. Not them cheesy nonsense people out there. 200 black belts. None of them fight. None of them compete because they're too deadly.
They're too deadly to compete.
They're too deadly to compete. Or better yet, it's useless. It's useless. Yeah. Okay. So you hang your hat on that.
But I enjoyed this. This show. I got a lot of good insights, a lot of good knowledge, and like-minded. You know, no matter what martial artists we bring on here, they always say the same thing. You gotta get grimy with it.
Some people say that all we do is rant. That all we do is have bad attitudes.
We were saying nothing tonight.
No, you know what? But if you listen to the martial artists, the real martial artists that we put on this show, they all say the same thing, and it's unscripted. So that's why. I think that's why we're doing this, right? We're trying to really educate the public as best we can, and I want everybody to understand that, again, it's not about bad-mouthing, but if you're taking offense to it, it's about you. It's definitely about you. If you're taking offense to it, then you need to really check yourself in the mirror and figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and what you need to fix.
We want to educate the public about what real training is. Doesn't matter what the style.
Nope.
Every style, you have to have real training to be effective.
That's right, man.
That's the main point we're trying to get across.
Train real, get real.
Gotta train real.
Train real, get real.
Yeah. So if you're in a school and you're kind of like going, I don't know if I can really pull this off. You might be in the McDojo.
You might be in a McDojo.
You might be in a McDojo.
And if you guys don't like what we're saying, we're gonna go this way. And swipe. That's all.
You know? But you must like what we're saying because you keep coming back every week.
Yeah. So guys, I want to thank you very much for that. And again, definitely get out there, share what we're doing. Try to get a big push. You know, we're trying to get this wheel moving here so people could understand, the public could understand, you know, all these small-time martial arts schools, right? The ones that don't have that many students in them that are training really hard. Let's fill up their schools. Let's get their schools going.
And teach them how to market themselves. And that's the main reason why they don't have big schools. because nobody teaches them how to market themselves the right way without
selling out.
Selling out. You can market you because we market ourselves.
Yeah, well, so you don't want to do the ShamWow.
No ShamWow.
No ShamWow here.
We market ourselves. Everybody knows who we are, but we don't sell out. So
no.
You can do that and have a lucrative school and number of students without selling out. So
don't sell out.
That's the difference. All right. So I think we got to get out of here. I think we're over time.
We're definitely over time.
Definitely over time.
Things are blinking. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We got a jet.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. Talk real, get real. Train real, get real. Stop faking it.
Thank you guys so much. And go shout it out.